Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep. Hang
Yeah.
on a minute.
I mean, basically, since we're talking about freight cars, I recently produced a dozen sugarcane cars for the U.S. Sugar Company and the U.S. Sugar Corp in Clewiston, Florida. And this just gives me some information up front that some of this information is copyrighted out of a Barden Jennings book, but go ahead with the next one. I mean, the Scott Ogle is the railroad superintendent down there, and he contacted me and he said their upper management wanted a dozen. They've got 250 brand new sugarcane cars. They have about 300 miles of railroad around Clewiston into their sugarcane fields. And this is a picture, a prototype picture of the car. And so if you go on to the next one, I knew that, okay, we got a U.S. Sugar provided me with a file from the manufacturer, which is Freight Car America, as a STP file, which is manufacturers use to, so people that are involved with the construction can look at stuff. And we converted the STP file to an STL file, which is 3D printable. And that was some of the car diagrams or whatever that were in there. And U.S. Sugar has 125,000 acres of sugar cane down there. The low this morning was supposed to be right at freezing, which is not, it was rather unusual for them. They've got about 800 freight cars that are used for transportation of the sugar cane from the fields to their mill. And 250 of them are new. Before they were taking old box cars and stuff and hacking them up to make them into sugarcane hoppers. And anyway, I threw this picture in there because they have one operating steam locomotive and about 30 diesels down there. Go on to the next one, Bob. This is about 10 of the dozen or so sugarcane cars that we did. We 3D printed them. And I don't have a 3D printer, so I got Frank Stevenson, one of our members, to print these for us from a guy in Florida who created the 3D STL file for us. And I contacted the guy I know up at Circus Decals up in Wisconsin and told him we had this project, and he made decal sheets for us. And so each car has its own unique number and whatever on it. And then I got the trucks and the couplers from Katie and painted the models and decaled them and all that stuff, and then shipped them off to the superintendent down there at U.S. Sugar. Go on to the next one. Okay. In addition, since I have N scale stuff, in addition to the HO scales that you just saw in the previous slide, a couple of N scale models were also printed with N scale decals. And this is one sitting on one of my T-Track modules, partially loaded with supposedly sugar cane. And anyway, that's my display of freight cars.
Okay.
Thank you,
Super.
Stu. Okay, about next.
The sugar cane I make, I take a big old twine rope and just cut off little pieces off the end of it.
Stu, what'd you use again?
A twine, twine rope.
Oh, okay.
You take scissors to the end of a twine rope and cut little pieces off.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
A lot of cutting. I
Yeah.
think this is the next one. If we go to the next one. This is for Harold. I can't tell if Harold is still on or not, but here's the slide that Harold brought in.
Harold,
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, this is a 26-foot reefer built from a ye old Huff and Puff wood kit. And it's kind of a typical wood kit. It's a box of wooden parts, but a lot of things you need don't come with it. So I indicated where I got some of the other things. I made the truss rods from Taishi wire and the KD couplers. This is O scale, by the way. And the queen posts came from Precision Scale, and the trucks and wheels from Wiseman Model Works, which we all know it's just a few miles from here. And I think the kit did come with reefer doors and latches, but I didn't like them. So I bought some from Scale City. And then the brake wheel, the rod, and some other components. I use Plastruck. So I'd like to take credit for the lettering and the logo and all that, but that was actually on the kit, very unusual. So I basically painted the roof and the ends, but the sides were already done.
Oh, okay. That's good for the AP. If you get AP, that's good for one of the cars there. Yeah.
Okay, the next one is Sean. Sean, you up?
I just needed to unmute myself. This is just a simple kit bash using the old Blue Box Athearn composite side twin hoppers of a Norfolk and Western H4 hopper, which was built in 1944. Used composite side because, of course, World War II and the restrictions on metal. The decals for this came from Model Railroad Services through the N&W Historical Society, and while not an exact replica, I feel like, yeah, when it goes by in a train, pretty much you know what it's supposed to be. So, but yeah, I just like to pick up real cheap stuff at the train sale shows, and then don't feel bad cutting it up and doing something with it. So, and then I have one other picture on here, and it's interesting. Eric mentioned the Virginia and Ohio. You can go to the next slide. The Virginia and Ohio and Alan McClellan. I picked this up at a train show in Cincinnati a couple years ago, and this is actually a gondola that was on the original V&O. There was a gentleman there who was selling freight car. Well, I guess other things maybe too, but I think it was mostly freight cars that was from the V&O. So I thought that was sort of interesting to show that yeah, the V&O had a big impact on model railroading, and even some of the pieces of it are still circulating around out there.
Oh. Thank you, Sean.
Okay, next one's me. What this is a stock car and a couple of reefers. One on the right were scratch built back in 1978, and they were the first two merit cars for the in the AP program for me. Friend of mine and I put these guys together. Those are totally scratch built. Started off with a block of wood, squared it up, size, length, whatever. All of the lettering on there is dry transfer, individual lettering for the Raritan Atlantic and the Refrigerator Dispatch. The Spans the West is from our my old model railroad club that I was part of out in oh dear, I've lost the name of it, in Los Angeles, and we call it Spans the West, the Southern Pacific lines, and that was that decal on that. All of the detail on that is either individual wood. I don't even remember where I got the grabs on it. I don't remember where the trucks came from. Randy could probably see them and tell you which ones those are. But those two cars, like I say, were my first and second, and I did this in 2015 at the convention. The one on the left is the most recent one. Actually, it is the final car in my Merit AP. This is Denver Rio Grande Western. It's all individual. I think I've been talking about that a number of times. I think a lot of you guys have already seen this guy. It is all individual pieces of wood, individual lettering. That's the left side of it. I think I've talked about all of the detail on that before. Interior detail as well. But that was the final one.
Hey,
With
Bob,
that, yeah.
uh, just for a point, I don't know whether the viewers know this or not, but they can zoom in on your photos.
Oh, can they?
Yeah, they can zoom in on their screen and look at these pictures closely.
Oh, I have got on the Zoom monitor, I've got that up, and I don't see how to do that.
Well, you're showing it. I'm talking about the other attendees.
No, I've got on the Zoom monitor, not
Yeah.
this is displayed on my desktop right now.
Yeah,
I have it on the
I can
Zoom
pinch it
monitor,
out.
which is what you guys are seeing.
Looks really
Yeah.
good there, Bob.
But if you can do it, fine. Ha!
Yeah, it worked on my iPad.
Ha!
Yeah,
All I
Interesting.
do is take my fingers and I can blow it up.
it's
Well-
much easier to see that way, and you can
Yep.
see all the fine work there.
Well,
Well,
That's
I'm
the,
not being able to do it.
I can't do it on. I've got a Windows 11 program system. The guy that's a Zoom monitor, and the cursor doesn't do it at all.
Yeah, I'm on a Mac and I'm using my
Oh,
touch
You're
touchpad
cheating.
to do it.
well, apparently iPads and touchpads work, but yeah, those are both quite a bit of detail in there. With that,
Thank
Very
you.
nice, Bob.
let's go on to the next one, which is guess who? Larry, you want to take on?
Yeah, this is a car I built. Had the flat car. I went to the Louisville show, and there's a guy that sells 3D parts, and I've got the kind of like a train shop on the layout. And I figured, well, geez, he hasn't got any engines in there, so I bought one. And actually, there were two in there, and I just took one and painted it up. I looked on some photos, and I guess they used rail to kind of keep it on. Uh, Put some wood on the deck and stained that, and used some pastel prints on it, pastels to kind of weather it some and gives it some color. I didn't have probably those tape things are probably too wide, but I guess they will work anyways in terms of holding it down. So that's that one. That's kind of just the front of it. You can probably go to the next one then. This is the one I use at Southern Lights. I usually put that on the back of the train near the caboose, and usually for the kids there, because the kids will say, "Oh, there's a tank on there." So, kind of use it for the kids to try to give them a little excitement there. So I noticed when I did that, the first time I did it, Tom Bensberg noticed that the rifle for it is on the tank turret was facing forward, and it should be facing backward. And I think it should be plugged, but I haven't done that. So that's just kind of one thing I made up for the next one. Oh, this one is, well, I was over to Bob Weinheimer's doing some operations there, and he had some of his scrap things there. And I asked him about what it was, and he said it was mica. So I went in there and got home, got on the internet, bought some mica, got some pieces of styrofoam, kind of shaped it, put it in there, put some mica on it, and glued it down. So now I have a kind of good-looking thing of showing a scrap in a car there. Okay, next. I just put that one in there. Some of you may remember this from our convention. This is the Buffalo Trace cars we had, and I just thought I'd throw that in there just for old time's sake. You can go to the next one. This is the one I've taken my caboose, most of the cabooses I've taken and put lights in them. And the lights are I forget who you get it from, but it's the truck underneath it picks up power from the rail, and then it comes in, and I found another thing I can use that turns the AC power to DC. Also puts a capacitor on it, so it'll kind of store some power when it goes over a spot or so on, and put it onto a couple of LEDs I made in a piece of plastic there, a plastic, round plastic thing. So that way I can have lights on the back of my car there. That's just a bigger thing that shows the thing. So next, I don't think there is one.
Next
Okay.
one's Tom. Tom, you on?
Yes. So there's three pictures here of various flat car loads on my layout. The cars are all ordinary, but I wanted to show how I fastened the loads on or simulated the load fastenings. I used silver sewing thread to show cable, and then black chart tape to simulate banding. And then, of course, I think the wood uh, is actually matchsticks. But you can go ahead and show the next two cars as well, Bob.
Very nice, Tom.
Very nice.
That's it.
Yeah, I like